Welcome to Simple and Savored with the Bald Guy, Simple Haircut. And tonight we are kind of revisiting recipe spicy lentil soup. I've never made red lentil soup before. It was so good. So I'm taking Robin's kind of base recipe and playing it up a little bit. Tanya came up with a great idea to add Italian sausage to it this time. So we're gonna do a red lentil soup with Italian sausage, and I'm gonna bald guy this up a couple ways. So with the regular recipe, it's essentially just, I did a cup and a half of lentils. To make this a little faster, I actually just put water, covered them with water, and they've absorbed, so they're gonna cook faster, and they usually take about 30 minutes anyway, so they should go a little faster. 1 box of stock, can of tomatoes, and these are stewed, so I'm gonna have to kind of crunch them up a little bit because they're not chopped, but this is what I had in the pantry. And then Italian sausage. I am gonna add a little celery and carrots to it just because it enhances the flavor. And then gonna be sauteing some Italian sausage in this. So this is gonna be good as well. So let's get the timer going and just see how long this takes. Okay, get the heat on and do a quick, so I'm turning this on high just to get the pan hot and ready to go and make it a little faster. I'm gonna cut the celery into pretty small slices or thin slices just so it will cook a little faster. I like things to take about 15 to 20 minutes. That's kind of the range I'm always shooting for of a meal, whether it's just kind of come up with it by going through the pantry or using a recipe book. It's all simple, healthy, and easy, but it doesn't have to take a long time. Everybody thinks it's things need to take ages and you've got to do this culinary professional thing, and it's just good, simple food. Tastes good, it's good for you, and doesn't take a long time to make. And then while those are sauteing, we will kind of prep the Italian sausage. So Italian sausage, typically you can either buy it in links. This is not cooked and usually comes uncooked, or you can also buy it just as in kind of like ground pork or ground beef, kind of that same thing. So whatever. I like to buy it Italian sausage because sometimes we'll just cook up sausages and they're really wonderful. But we can also just take out the meat from the casing. Just slice it down the middle, and then I'm just going to kind of cut it up a little bit as well. And it'll cook, and then I'll use the spatula to kind of break things up a little bit more. So you're not getting your fingers real dirty, but it's not gonna necessarily be chunks of sausage, it's more ground. So I'm gonna put that in as well. Cook them both at the same time. I added a little bit of olive oil to start with. Turned it down to medium, and at this point, let's see, what else can we do while we're waiting for that? Can opener, great tool. Let's see if it'll work better this time. Last time I didn't come off too well. I didn't use it great. And same with this one. This is interesting. I love this can opener. I just maybe need to get a new one. Had this for years. Okay. Interesting. So that's ready to go in. I want to saute the vegetables and brown the Italian sausage just to add another layer of flavor here. So I'm just kind of chopping up the larger pieces of sausage, and we'll be back probably in about 5 minutes, and at that point we're going to be adding stock, tomatoes, and lentils, and then it's probably about a 15 minute to 20 minute cook time, and we should have a yummy, spicy, these red lentils they're creamy it's almost like you've added cream to it with the mouthfeel of it. So they're really kind of a new go-to meal for us. Tanya loved them, and we'll just kind of continue playing with the recipe. They're high in protein, they're low in fat, so they're health-wise, they're really good for you as well, and just really tasty. So we'll be back. All right, we're back. We're about 11 minutes at this point, and Tanya is horseback riding tonight, so my camera crew is gone, and I'll just show you a quick glimpse in here. So we're just browning everything up in the pan, and kind of give that a stir. And now we're gonna be heating everything else up. So tomatoes, give those a little bit of a chop here. The recipe called for diced tomatoes. I just didn't have them in the house, so we will make do. Same flavor, just a little extra work for me, which a little extra work's nothing wrong with that. And so if you are a super busy person, this would be a really good thing to throw in the crock pot or Instapot if you have an Instapot. And so I'm going to turn it up high to get all the liquid running. And I did think while I was off waiting for this to boil, get some Parmesan cheese as well to add to this. It'd be really good. Make sure nothing's stuck on the bottom. I'm going to pour the 1.5 cups of soaked lentils. I'm just making this a smaller batch than she had made. That made a lot of soup. Just kind of the way we're eating now. It's don't want to have a lot of leftovers sitting around that we kind of have to eat. So this is just reducing recipe size. Maintain a little more control over portions. So I've got if I have a big pot of soup, I eat a lot of soup because it's usually really good, and that's just kind of the way it works. So make something smaller, it works better. So now we're going to bring this up to a boil and then reduce it down to a simmer. So boiling's really bubbling really hard. Simmer is just kind of bubbling occasionally. And let's see how long that takes. So we're at about, it'll probably boil in about 15 minutes. And we'll check back in about 10 to see if soaking the lentils reduces the cooking time. It's really nice to let this cook for 15, 20 minutes if you can, or 30 minutes or 40 minutes just on a low simmer. It makes the lentils really creamy and just, I don't know, there's kind of a magic with red lentils, even comparing to like split peas and such. So not sure what it is, but we'll work it. We are back and we're running about 32 minutes at this point. So this would be a really easy one to come home to. If you put it in a crock pot, it's ready to roll. But if you came home, got everything kind of set up, cooked, cut, prepped, so you could do that all ahead of time, dump in the pan, 5 minutes sauteing it to brown it and cook it, and then just add the liquid and go off and do whatever you need to get done for the evening. Once you get home, and in about 30-35 minutes, you are going to have a wonderful meal. I'm so excited. I haven't tasted this, but it's just been simmering away real nicely. Make sure there's nothing stuck on the bottom. Lentils, you definitely probably want to come maybe every 5-10 minutes and stir it so it's not burning on the bottom. So, but if you put it on low and slow, you come back 40 minutes later, an hour later, and should be really good. So let's bowl this up. And I am just really hungry tonight, so I'm gonna load up a little bit. Just turn the heat off, and let's give this a taste. I'll put Parmesan on it. Oh my God, that's good. It's creamy, it's bizarre. I'm gonna do a little salt, add a little salt here. I'm gonna add a little red pepper flakes, that for a little heat. Some black pepper. And then just a little Parmesan here. And this is phenomenal. If you haven't had red lentils, I had never had them before last week, and they are just wonderful. You could throw this in the blender, food processor, and kind of make it smoother, let's say. But it's really good. Let me try a little bit with it. Oh my gosh. A little bit of that Italian sausage, some of that Parmesan cheese, the creamy lentils, little celery, little carrots, little everything in there. Just fabulous. But if you are not a subscriber, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the next videos. And this shows really simple recipes, simple, easy, healthy recipes for your busy life. More time for you ultimately, and the ones you love. I mean, that's what you're working so hard for, is for those people. Let's not forget about them. So you could sit down and have a really quick meal. If you're on the go, running kids around or getting home from a long commute, simple meal, easy to sit down to, relax, and just put good food in your body. But subscribe. See you soon.